Let's forge a partnership here. Shapiro, Cardi B. We can make this happen. We can bridge all the gaps.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chisholm Report. First order of the day is the Candace, Owens, and Cardi B Twitter feud. They got in a huge argument.
You look at Cardi B's Instagram, you see she has millions of followers, and you think, okay, this is an illiterate person, and if I appeal to this illiterate person and she does, like she literally did.
Candace Owens is a conservative activist who has openly supported Donald Trump on numerous occasions, and she escalated into a feud with Cardi B after a series of tweets, and then she appeared on Fox News and criticized Cardi. Would anyone like to start off the argument? Jenny, Isabella, Sarah, Will, anybody?
I think this is kind of the dumbest. Like, the feud is so dumb. Like, she's trying to say that Cardi B somehow, by rapping about enjoying sex, is tarnishing the reputation of black people, black women. Like, Cardi B is her own person. You're allowed to represent more. You can represent yourself however you want to without representing everyone in a group as a black person. I don't think she represents everyone. She's just herself. So I just kind of feel like both, and especially since Candace Owens has her own issues with her kind of compromising her morals and kind of lying, saying that she never experienced racism when clearly that she did. It just kind of feels like, you know, she's a hypocrite. Again, I don't like Cardi, but this kind of is simply an asinine situation.
I'm not a fan of either Cardi B nor Candace Owens, but on this stance, I think I agree with Candace Owens. I don't see why celebrity endorsements are valued so much by presidential candidates. And we saw this in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. She was endorsed by so many celebrities, but it didn't make a difference at the end because regular working class people are not the same as celebrities. We have completely different lifestyles.
I think Cardi B wasn't there to get black voters. I may have been part of it, but I think it was there to get more of the millennial and the young vote out, which, again, it's pandering, but also all politicians do that. You know, if the right wing had celebrities that agreed with them, then they'd, you know, have interviews or whatever. Is it the most productive thing? No, it's not what working people care about. But it's kind of, you know, it's politics. They want to get the working class people, not the working class, they want to get young people out to vote. And, you know, young people like Cardi B.
I was going to respond to Will's statement. I do find it offensive that they would use someone like Cardi B who, like, she kind of praises like this profanity type of lifestyle that I don't think we should encourage, especially for politics. She says a lot of problematic things, and I just don't think we should be giving her a voice and a platform and like praise her ideas. She doesn't have the best values. If Joe Biden wants to get the black vote, he should at least try to look for someone like Brian Stevenson.
I agree that Cardi B isn't really a good example. She doesn't have best values. Apparently she drugged people and all that. But I don't necessarily think that the topics of her songs, some of this stuff, you know, like when people like rap about like shooting people or whatever, then I'm like, and drugs, and I'm like, yeah, that's not something that should be involved with politics. But, you know, when people just talk about simply like enjoying sex, like that's their life, it's not like hurting anyone. But, you know, I agree that there are more accomplished, more people who would be better role models out there. However, also, if you look at Cardi B's story, whether you like her as a person or not, whether you like her music, she does have this kind of rags to riches tale. You know, she was a stripper. She was like just working hard and going from, you know, going from stripping, going from, you know, very low class to having to take care of a baby and like that. No matter you think stripping is a legitimate form of work, whatever, that's like your opinion. But she worked really hard and she got to where she is. So there's that. But also there are other people with that story. I just think it's just pandering, and I don't think that she should have a platform because of some stuff that she admitted to, I also don't think that her songs should also be that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree, because like I feel like they could have chosen a much better person to represent all this stuff, represent the Black community and all these sort of things, because she's admitted to some pretty horrible things. Like, I don't think horrible even covers it, the things that she's admitted to and things that she's been accused of.
I was on Twitter and I was going through, just like a second ago, I was going through Candace Owens' Twitter and I was going through Cardi B's. I thought it was interesting that Cardi B was attacking Candace's child when it really didn't have anything to do with what they were talking about. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see that, but I think that's such a good example of why Cardi B is just not the right example and the right person to interview Joe Biden. I'm not a fan of either of them, especially Candace Owens, but at least Candace Owens could present herself with class instead of Cardi B, who went after someone's child, which I think is awful. I didn't even hear about that.
I think what the Democrats are doing with how they're trying to get celebrity voices, because celebrities are really big in our generation. A lot of people look up to celebrities. I think that's a great idea that they were doing. I just think they could have picked somebody much better. As you guys are talking about how she was a bad pick, I was thinking they could pick somebody like Will Smith or Jada or Willow or Beyonce or Lizzo or somebody that our generation likes that has good morals. Oh, that doesn't talk about, I shouldn't say good morals because I'm sure Cardi B does, but like that doesn't present herself in that way.
I totally agree with you. It doesn't look good for anyone dancing and singing about what she's singing about. I think it's just kind of gross. But does anyone else have any thoughts that they would like to bring into this conversation?
I mean, my issue isn't necessarily like how she presents herself, because like that's just her life. She can live her life however she wants to, and she seemed basically appropriately dressed in that interview. But my issue is what she has admitted to in the past: drugging men, robbing people, doing a lot of like horrible things that are just objectively morally wrong. Presenting yourself in a sexual manner is debatable, but we can all agree that drugging men and robbing people is just objectively horrible.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think somebody that isn't singing about things like she's singing, especially in politics. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I agree with you completely. And I think that there's so many good role models too, like Selena Gomez, who's wouldn't hurt a fly. Like, and if they had gotten her to do something, she's one of the most followed celebrities ever. Like, why wouldn't you ask her over Cardi B, who is hated by so many people for the disgusting things she does? And
it'll be hard pressed to find an artist who hasn't made a song about sex or enjoying sex or anything. Selena Gomez has done it. Lizzo has definitely done it. You know, there's a controversy with like Lizzo twerking at the basketball game. Like most artists have done it. You can say that Cardi B was more explicit about it, but you'll be hard pressed to find an artist that still has this like cookie cutter Disney Channel style. Most of them have sung about more mature topics, and I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that.
Okay, I was just gonna say, so Lizzo and Selena Gomez have never publicly admitted the things that they did to those men. So I think taking that route when she's admitted that she's already done those things probably wasn't their best thing. But what I do want to mention in favor of Cardi B is she is the only one out of those three that we're talking about specifically that have acknowledged before WAP, before even Joe was elected nominee, she discussed about wanting to get into politics. So taking her over them seemed like a good idea at the time. Also, it's like, is it a good choice when she's saying that she's a voice for Blacks? Like, I was reading a tweet, I don't remember where it was, where she was talking about being the voice for Blacks or something, and Candace was against Blacks or something like that, or she retweeted somebody saying that.
I think that's a good idea. No one person speaks for an entire group. Cardi B doesn't represent all Black people. She doesn't represent all women, just like how Candace Owens does not represent all Black people or all women or all Black women or anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of, I'll have to look at the tweet about that. But also, again, I agree that what she has admitted to doing should disqualify her. I'm just saying, I think I've been kind of redundant in saying that it's not about like what she's thinking about, but more about what she has done as a person.
Like, also, we could have gotten someone who has been outspoken about politics. I mean, I know like Taylor Swift isn't Black, but Taylor Swift, we did see her sway tens of thousands of voters in Tennessee against Marsha, one of them, Blackburn, and narrow up that race a little bit. So someone who, I feel like that's someone who would have definitely been a better person to bring in. Who
John
else?
John
John
Legend.
Lennon. Chrissy Teigen would have been great, I think.
I know Morgan Freeman's working with the Biden campaign a bit. But yeah.
Mhm.
Lizzo would have been amazing. I stand Lizzo, but you know.
I think Lizzo would have been a great pick for, like, if they like asked her and she said yes, that would have been a great pick for someone who is Black and can, not represent the whole Black community, obviously, but
Knows the struggles.
speak to her experience.
The struggles and has been a good model in spending